Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about how we can work on modifying the speed of a clip. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this clip, throw this over into the timeline here real quick, and there is some there's pretty. If you want to actually modify the speed of the clip, you can. Once it's in the timeline, we'll make this as big as the screen here. You can right-click on it, and you can actually come down here, and you can find the speed and duration. And you'll notice that you have a few options here in this setting here. You can change the percentage of the speed, you can change the duration of the clip and change the speed with it. You can reverse the speed, you can maintain audio pitch, and you can ripple edit and shifting trailing clips. But I'm just going to show you first of all what we can do with just changing the speed here. If you want to speed this up, you can just type 200%, and you'll notice that that clip shrunk on the timeline halfway. And so now if we watch this entire clip up here, you'll notice that they're moving a bit faster here. They're trucking along here at a good clip of speed here. And that never. I'm going to do something else here real quick. I'm going to go ahead and drag this guy right down here, and we'll change the sequence settings. So like I say, you can just come and right click on this and go to speed and duration, and you can change that to 200%. You can actually change it quite a bit. You can go up to just by going in here, you can change. You could probably go to 500%, and it's going to go pretty quick here. But you can do that pretty quick. Other way you can do it, if you have your clip selected, you can come up into the menu here, and you can change speed and duration that way up in the menu. Or the keyboard shortcut for it, which is what I recommend, is Command R. And that's going to be the quickest way to get that menu up there. If you want to go slow motion, you just change that to 50%. You notice that changes the duration of that quite a bit here. And we can do this, and you can really change the intensity of the actual event there. Dun -dun, maybe throw some Chariots of Fire on there. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, whatever. But also, if we that's just a quick way to change speed. If we come back up into the clip, I'm going to go ahead and change that back to 100% here. I'll go up to Command R. So we've got our original length clip here. You can actually just change the duration of the clip. And you notice if I increase the speed or slow it down, it changes it. Change the speed of the clip. So if I want this to fit a certain time frame, if I want it to be exactly 10 seconds, or if I want it to be exactly 5 seconds here, and actually I can just go in and type that in if I want. So I'll just change that and make it an exactly 5-second clip. It'll change that exactly, and it changed it to 200% just by doing that. So if you want to fit a specific time frame, you can do it that way as well. If we go into, I'm also going to show you guys a few other things. I need to actually bring in a few more clips into the timeline here. I'll grab this guy and I'll just put him right over here. You'll notice if I bring this up and I change the speed to, let's go 66% here. You notice that it increases the speed of the clip, but it doesn't change the clip in front of it there. Correct? So if I come back up into this and I change that to, let's go 88%, you notice it's still moving that speed around, but it's not changing what it's in front of. So if we wanted to actually do that, we would come up into the ripple edit and shift trailing clips. We would select that setting there. So if I now change this to 30% and move that, you'll notice that moved, it shifted everything down the timeline. I'll go ahead and I have the exact same gap there. So it depends on what you want to do. The default is set to not do that, so it'll I'll actually I'll undo that here real quick, and I'll come back into the setting here, and if I don't change the ripple edit and I change that to, let's say, 50%, you'll notice it changes the speed to 50%, but it doesn't move the clip in front of it, and it doesn't cut any of the clip in front of it off. And so you have this, we'll cut along here, and they'll go, but it's going to cut right back into that clip that we had right there. Okay. And let's come back into this here. There's also some other cool stuff here. Do you have any questions on any of this stuff right here? Speed, duration, reversing. The reverse speed is actually a nice tool. Not so much for like it can be funny, yeah, but let's say you have some stuff that you need to fix in post. You have a rack focus on something that, for example, if it racks from one thing to another, but you want to do it the opposite way, you can just reverse the speed and it'll rack from the one thing to the other opposite. And so that's a good tool to have, but it's really easy to do. You just go to reverse speed and press OK, and you'll notice that this will go. It'll now be going backwards here. Which this one doesn't, it's not so bad. It actually looks like they're going in reverse, but if it was just a quick clip, you could actually change that and it looks like they're paddling backwards. But usually with people, they're walking backwards, so you want to be careful with that one. Any questions about any of this here as well?
So that first clip, when you make it last longer, you're saying it doesn't go into that other clip, the second one? Or it does?
It does not.
It does not.
So if I don't press the ripple edit, and let's change this back to, let's go 88% here. You'll notice, we'll just see the beginning of this clip here. You see that? Now if we change this clip back to 50%, it lengthens it out to a 50% speed, but it doesn't cut into the second clip at all. It's not going to overwrite that second clip. That's the key thing that you need to know. So you can just make stuff fit wherever you are. If you're on a huge timeline and you need to come in and change some speeds, it'll just change the actual speed of the clip there and it won't cut into that. But if you do the ripple delete here, like I mentioned before, and I change that to 50%, it'll just it'll shift the whole timeline down. Any questions on that? Okay, another cool thing that we can do, I'm going to go ahead and delete this clip out of here, and I'm going to grab him. Let's do this one here. Let's just take a look at what they got here. They're getting ready to start their race here. Oh, Jenna, with yours, just let the guy go through the shot. Anyway, I'll drag this down here. So this is the next thing that I'm going to show you is how to get a variable rate speed. Let's say you want to start at standard speed, and then you want to move it into slow motion and kick back up into a standard speed here. You would want to use this for. This is one of those questions on the quiz. We mentioned how can you add drama or effect to editing of a clip, slow motion, or just having it go fast and then right at a certain point it goes slower. It just makes it feel like you're more in the moment there. So I'm going to do some quick editing on this clip actually, and so we'll cut this one about here. We'll get this clip, just get the rest of this guy out of there. And so there's a few things that you can do. I'm going to make this timeline just a bit bigger. I'm going to ditch this audio here and get rid of this clip. And I'm going to make this video 1 clip a bit bigger. I'm going to drag this down so we just see our clip here. And then I'm going to make this fit into the screen here. Okay, so if we come over into this clip here and we drop down on this opacity setting here, we have a few different menu options here. We have motion, opacity, and speed, and we're going to mess with the speed here. You notice how that says that changes the time mapping speed. The other thing we're going to do is I'm going to come up into this. I'm going to make sure that this clip is loaded in the viewer, in the source panel here, and I'm going to go to the effect controls. And you'll notice that what we're seeing here, where the timeline plays here, it also plays up here. So if I adjust that here, it adjusts it down there as well. This is good to know. And so we're going to This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to just delete this audio actually off of here. I'm just going to unlink these clips, and then we can just delete the audio, and then we don't have to worry about it. And then I'll just get rid of these guys. And so now when we come up into effect controls, once we select that clip, you'll notice that we only have the video effects that we need to work with. And we're going to work with the time remapping. And I'm just going to show you what's going to happen here. I'm going to do everything down here in the timeline, but you'll see that the changes happen up here as well. So we're going to go into that feels like it's already, let's check out the speed on that. Speed is 100% on that already, so that's good. So that's not bad. Okay, so we're gonna start in fast mode. We're gonna start in regular speed here until right there, right when they get that, right when they get the green light to go. And so a cool thing that we can do, if we come down on this timeline and we press Command here, and we select that, let's make sure we're in the effects controls up here. You'll notice that we get this little keyframe here. And we can actually, depending on what side of the bar we can drag this on, right now we're at 100%. I can come over here now and I can move this down to a certain speed. Don't want it at 1%, that would be a little slow. Let's go to like 53% or something along those lines. And so now if we watch this, you'll notice that right when we hit that, now it goes to slow motion right when we hit that line. But that being said, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on this clip just a bit more. I'm going to make this just a bit bigger so we can see this just a bit better. You'll notice that that's a pretty abrupt way of going into slow motion. You're going full speed to slow motion. And the whole point of this little exercise is to show you guys how to get it to slowly ramp into that. And so if we press the Option key and grab one of these little actually you don't have to you don't even have to press the Option key. You just grab one of those handles there, and you'll notice that you can pull that apart, and that makes you get you get a ramp there. So now when we watch this, it's going to ramp into a slow motion there. So it starts fast and then you ramp into that slow motion. You even have more effects that you can do there. You can option and click one of those, and then you get this Bezier curve here. So I can then grab that, and you can see that you can extend that out or just move it. Excuse me. And you can make this exponential, nice curving motion there. So instead of and I'll just actually drag that out. Instead of it being this just straight line right down, it kind of curves into it. And so let's watch this again here. It's not really much of a... Okay, so let's make that bigger there. And then you can do the exact same thing to come out of the slow motion. So we started right in with that slow motion. And you make snowboarding videos, right? This could be how do you think this could be useful on any type of action type video like that?
Oh, in so many ways, like when you're doing tricks and stuff, you just slow it right down and bring it back up to speed.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a really quick, easy way to do that too. And so I'll go ahead and I'll bring this up and out here, and I'll just make a new. I'll just press the Command key to make a new keyframe here, and I'll ramp that back up like so. Oh, but actually I need to bring that back up to 100%. And then we can do the exact same thing. And then I can option click one of these handles here, and I can turn that into that curve there. And so when we watch this now, we have this fast motion to slow motion right when they're starting, and then it kicks back into regular speed there, which really isn't much of a difference there because they're slow anyway. But if you're doing like really fast-paced action, such as a snowboarding movie or a car chase or something along those lines, or when in the movies when they're doing like a barrel roll or something, or like the Matrix when they're going like doing that kind of stuff. That's a time remap, and that's what you would want to do there. Do you guys have any questions on that? You can also see, like I mentioned before, if you have your effect controls open as you're doing your time remapping, you can actually see the exact same things that's happening down here, up here, and it's all right there. And it works out pretty darn good. And so if let me get the effect control open again. And you can move the time, you can move it up there. And if you ever want to clear your, if you ever want to clear out those keyframes, you just come over here and you select your stopwatch there. And it'll say this action will delete existing keyframes. Do you want to continue? You just press OK. And then you have a clean, fresh slate there. So, yeah. Do you guys have any questions on any of that? The other thing I was going to talk to you guys about is another way to work with stills or just anything along those lines. Let's say you wanted to a freeze frame. It's not so much a still. It's just you want to freeze frame it and then come back out of it, and so maybe put a title on there. So you're watching this, and let's say this is your beginning clip here. And right before they start moving, right before they start going, you want to put this into a freeze frame. And then you could possibly build like a title on there. And so like we'd want to freeze frame it there, give it like 5 or 6 seconds so you can build a title, and then you want to come back out of that freeze frame. Now you can build the freeze frame pretty much just like we mentioned before. We can actually just do we can put a why is that not working now? Do you guys, that's odd. I just pressed command, right?
Last night,
That's what I said, right? That's interesting. Let's just, let's open that guy back up here. We'll bring him down again. We'll mute that audio. Let's go to time remapping, speed, command. There it is. You got to be careful on that time. Like it'll be a little crosshair there. Make sure you see that. And so let's say we want to. Let's actually just speed this time up here. So we'll come back. So that's a little faster time there. Okay, but let's say we want to freeze frame it right at that point where that keyframe is. We just drop that down all the way to 1%. And so we've got this motion here, and then freeze frame, and then we'll put in another keyframe right here, and then we'll bring this back up, Oh, we want to go to 100% there, sorry. So we're back at 100 there, and then we can actually, you can see that if you wanted to, you could pause it, and then I'll actually just build a title here for you guys real quick too. Let's do a title, and we'll call this Concrete Canoe, or just Canoe. And we'll press OK, and then we'll actually build this title in here, and we'll bring this box over here like so. Make this nice and big. We'll make it a Myriad Pro. We'll make it bold. We'll type some stuff in there. We'll go all caps. Concrete Canoe Competition. And then we'll move this around. We'll make this a bit bigger. We'll make our font bigger actually. And we'll just pop this like right into here. You guys know how to build titles, right? Okay, so this is nothing new to you. Yeah. It's the little paper with a tab. So I'll make that just a bit bigger right there. Get that to fit in there. Come back over here. Pop this in right there. And then I'll give myself a quick drop shadow on that. And then I'll close that out. I'll put this in right where this right on that freeze frame, and then I'll put a dissolve on that and a dissolve there. And so now when we watch this, I'll make this a bit bigger for you guys over here. So when we watch this, you'll see that they're getting ready. Concrete Canoe Competition. And then you have that freeze frame come out. So it's a real quick and easy way. That was a quick and dirty graphic, but you can see that it's a quick way to do a freeze frame. Another way you can do it is you can import a still. You could actually there's a few different ways you can do it. You can take a photo on the timeline right there, and then here I'll just show you actually. We got some more time. So if we want to do that exact same thing, you can do it the time remap way. I'll go ahead and clear the keyframes off of this, and we'll just do this again here. Well, that got really big there. We'll go into Effect Controls. We'll clear off this, turn that stopwatch off, and press OK. So let's say we want to do it. Let's make this a bit bigger here. Let's make the still frame right there. So the first thing that we do is we just export a frame there, and we'll call this title page. Title page. We'll save it right to the desktop. We'll press OK. But the thing that I'm going to do here, I'm going to make a cut tool, and I'm going to put a cut right there. And this will be a real easy way to do this. And then we come back to the desktop where we exported that photo that we took of the timeline. What's that?
When they put on their emails, like take a screenshot of what you've been doing.
Yeah.
I usually export it, pause it somewhere, and then take a
screenshot. No, there's a camera right there that you can do it with. So I'll just show you this. So that's an actual screenshot of my timeline there, and I'll just go ahead and import this back in. I'll close that out, and I'll just drag this right into here. So now I have this title page JPEG right there, and I'll open this up over here, and I want to insert this in. So I'm just going to press comma, and that'll. Where did that put that? Let's undo that. Or you can just drag your timeline where you've cut it out, and you can actually just drag this right in to that spot right there, and we'll drag this over right there. And you notice you pretty much get the same effect, and it'll pick up right where we left off. See how that works there. So there's a few different ways you can do this, and there's pretty much any way you can think of it, you can do it. And each of them have their own specific advantages and disadvantages. So whatever you guys want it, however you want it to work. For a still frame, this is probably going to be the best one because with a time remapping, it only goes to 1%. So it's still it's always moving still. So if you have that still shot for longer than a certain amount of time, you'll see it move a frame. And so this one, if you want a true like freeze frame, this is probably the best way to do it. So, any questions on that? Okay, let me go ahead and stop this recording here, and we'll go from there.